about a heaven in Alberta, where they've got all hell for abasements. Yeah, I lost my way, but I hear tell about a heaven in Alberta, where they've got all hell for abasements.
All right. Hi, everyone. Frankie here. New West Reset. Hello. How's it going, eh? Welcome back. Thank you very much for shooting in, joining a fella here for another live show here this afternoon, tonight, wherever you're popping in from, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome. Thanks for winding down your weekend and joining me here for the new time slot of the live show, the Sunday show. New West Reset Live, episode 77. Ancient Assiniboia / Saskatchewan Stumpers. We're celebrating Saskatchewan here today on the show. The breadbasket of Canadian land, you see. So welcome. Thank you very much for joining me here. Howdy. Say hello in the chat, in the box. Let a guy know how you doing, where you're coming from. It's just a skosh of a frog's hair past 5 p.m. local time, mountain time here in Purdy, Alberta, Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and Naladia land. Yeah, it was a pretty nice day today. A little smoky. It's kind of windy right now. It's in the mid 20s Celsius. Low 80s Fahrenheit. So, a little bit of rain, just sort of teaser showers over the past little while. Didn't really help much with the smoke, but it did cool down the temperature a little bit. Although they have been getting some rain up in Jasper, ironically, too little, too late. So, yeah, it's been a wacky summer with the heat wave. So it's nice to get a little bit of rain. Little break for a guy. Woof. I'd burst into flames if I wasn't sweating so much. I don't know. Anyway, welcome. Thanks for shooting in and joining me. Who we got here? Whelm Dweller is in the box over on the Rumble. So, yes, welcome. Thank you to everybody on the YouTube, on the Rumble. Links below for all that jazz, as well as BitChute and a feller's email. Ancient what? Yeah, Ancient Assiniboia. I mistakenly, a while back, called it Assiniboia, which sounded weird to me, but I thought it was correct. But no, Assiniboia, and I was mixing it up with Assiniboine, which is a town or a city in South Saskatchewan. That's just fun to say, by the way, right? South Saskatchewan. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. By the way, just so you know here, first of all, give a guy one of these. If you haven't already, appreciate it. Just helps to push me out there, as we make our way to 1,600 subscribers. Getting close. Thank you for all your support to everybody. Again, on all the platforms, links below for everything. Or hey, if you want to send a feller an email with some weird photos and stuff, hey, Frankie, look at this stuff. Let me know. Send it my way. But yeah, Realm Dweller. I think that's purposely a tongue twister, but great handle. Realm Dweller in the box. Mareed is here, hidden at plain sight. Howdy, Chassis. Chassis Nicks in the box. Yes, indeed. Sunday Fun Day, the new time slot for the show. I switched it from Friday to Sundays because my schedule is all over the place for Friday, whereas I don't work Sunday. So it just makes it easy, eh? That way I don't have to, if I'm trying to go live after work, sometimes it's really late, eh? For a guy, and I get tuckered. So, switching it to the Sunday is great, because then I can even do it earlier in the day sometimes too, eh? And don't have to worry about it. So yeah, thanks for joining me here. And so it's all about Saskatchewan here on the show. Thanks for shooting in. Kathy Childers is here. Hippie Shake in the box. Hey, how you doing? Huh? Cousin Vinny over here. Good to see you. Good to see you as always. Turtle's here. Hello. Oh, don't even, you don't have to apologize. Come on now. It's crazy talk. I appreciate it though, but come on, even you can't stay up 24 hours. Come on. You're not an automaton robot person, artificial human android. Beep beep boop beep boop bap boop beep. Good day, Vaughn. Good to see you. Howdy. Welcome. How's it going there, eh? Oh yeah, Terry's doing all right. I emailed her, was it week and a half, 2 weeks ago? Week and a half ago-ish. And she's doing the gardening and super busy with all of that. And, summer being as short as it is, trying to maximize. Mighty Mouse. Howdy. Thanks for shooting in. Appreciate it. So yeah, appreciate all of you who've already subscribed and shared and all that good stuff. And again, thanks for joining me here for the Sunday edition of the show. So you'll get your boots on the ground on Fridays now. Guy gets out there. Rain or shine, plus 30 Celsius or minus 30 Celsius. I'm out there looking at weirdo stuff. Mud flood windows. Buildings that I suspect are pre-reset, repurposed old world buildings here in Calgary and the general area. But a guy tries to keep her Canadian and do the Canadian content, eh? And that's what's going on here with Saskatchewan. Alberta and Saskatchewan have a lot in common, kind of the prairies. We're the two landlocked provinces or regions in Canadian land. We share a big giant lake. We both used to be part of the Northwest Territories before Canada became Canada, and regions were divvied up and, proposed to become provinces, to join the nation there, eh? Oh, come on, you got to say title that way. I don't know why. I don't know where that comes from. I have no idea. Pretty sure Turtle doesn't speak with that accent either. It's just fun. You know, it's just kind of a fun thing to do. I don't know why. It's just fun for me.
You know what I mean? All right, we're having a good time.
Anyway, so thanks again for joining me here. Do all the stuff down there. And yeah, we're going to look at some photos, old photos of cities and towns in Saskatchewan, the province just to the east of me. Where's east? It's actually that away. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. Oh yeah, I passed along everybody's best wishes there, eh? Is the water main back in operation again? No, it's still being replaced / repaired. Well, they were going to try to repair it. And then they said we might as well just replace. And then they're going to be checking other spots. And yeah, it was supposed to last 100 years and lasted 49. So you almost did her there, bud. Way to go, eh? But we have a backup system. It's just been strenuous, especially with the heat and the drought and all that. Supposedly, drought. Not drought, but heat wave. I don't know. You know, you still can't get out there and water your lawn for like 4 hours. They don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, sir. Do you mind not doing that, please? Here's a $300 fine. Have a good day. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to look at some old photos. I'm going to, as per usual, the one thing that has not changed is your vintage footage videos midweek here on the channel every Wednesday. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek at that as well. And coincidentally, serendipitously-ish, serendipitously, I don't know. Anyway, it's going to be, some vintage footage of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. That's right. The funnest city and province combination to say, I think. I like saying it. I like saying Saskatchewan, and I really like saying Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. By the way, I don't want anybody to think that I'm making fun of Saskatchewan here now. Like I said, I'm an Albertan, but I have a lot in common with Saskatchewan. I think Saskatchewan's a beautiful province. A lot of people make fun of it. You know, that it's flat and boring. But that's not the truth. I think Saskatchewan's beautiful, so I'm not making fun of Saskatchewan. And if you think I am, well,
If you want to throw down in fisticuffs, fine. I've got Jack Johnson and Tom O'Leary waiting for you, right here.
there you go. Grandparents are from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. So without any further ado, let's quit messing around and get into it. We might as well just start with looking at the opening up the goggle machine. Looking on the maps just to give you an idea of where in and abouts we're talking about here. You know, of course, we're also going to, as usual, have a look at, the official narrative on the Wikipedia. But yeah, here's Saskatchewan here. There's Purdy, Alberta. But right here, see, we share a nice big lake. Lake Athabasca, eh? We share prairies, and the oil, and the cowboys, and the wheat, and all that. So yeah, we're going to be looking at Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Moose Jaw, that's right. There's a city called Moose Jaw. What of it? Of course, Regina, supposedly named after Queen Victoria, or in homage to Queen Victoria. Now we're going to look at a few other places in and around. Also famous for hockey players too, eh? So yeah, we're going to be looking here at Saskatchewan. Jamboree Joe, sipping sarsaparilla in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Lord have mercy. That is, it's a mouthful. That is a mouthful. So let me address the question originally posed right out of the gates by Realm Dweller. Ancient what? Ancient Assiniboia. Because parts of Saskatchewan used to be known as Assiniboia. But prior to that, it was part of the Northwest Territories. And prior to that, on old maps, it would say parts unknown, of course, right? But, yeah, we all know how that goes. But yeah, this is sort of present day, what would be present day Saskatchewan, but going further north even than that. But southern Saskatchewan along the North Dakota border here was known as Assiniboia. And again, there's a city or a town called Assiniboine here, named after the indigenous First Nations peoples that lived and hunted in this area. You know, the same narrative as southern Alberta, which is over here. Right? Now, north of Assiniboia, you could see it's known as Saskatchewan, and it actually extends all the way out here to what would later be Manitoba. And Manitoba is just this tiny part right now. But all of this used to actually be the Northwest Territories, including what is present-day Northwest Territories and Alberta. And actually parts of here from this, what is this, Missouri Coteau, these dirt hills here, this sort of line up to the South Saskatchewan River here, and then extending westward, used to be part of the Louisiana Territory prior to the Louisiana Purchase. So you get some Spanish Canadians or something. I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, there you go. Kind of interesting. Assiniboia, not Assiniboia. That was my my mistake. Really, Jabberoo Joe is saying that HooTubes won't let me watch you. For some reason, having lots of problems with the HooTubes. Really, very, very strange. That's weird because you're not. It's nothing on my end. That's for dang sure. Nothing on my end at all. So that's very odd. In fact, I was going to shoot you an email, but I might as well ask you now if no, I'll send you an email. Never mind. But yeah, that's weird. But hey, there you are. You're over on the fighting platform. So yeah, beauty. Not beauty for YouTube, but beauty for the Rumble. We're broadcasting simultaneously on Rumble and YouTube, you see. All right, so let's have a look at what the Wikipedia says here about Saskatchewan. Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks again for kind of winding down your weekend here and joining me on the new time slot of the show, the Sunday show. So here we are on the Wikipedia, Saskatchewan, wow. It's a province in Western Canada, bordered by Alberta, and on the north by the Northwest Territories, on the east by Manitoba, and to the northeast by Nunavut. So yeah, there you go. Boom, right there. And to the south by United States, Montana and North Dakota. Saskatchewan and Alberta are the only landlocked provinces in Canada, eh? So most people live in the southern part of the province. And just like northern Alberta, northern Saskatchewan has, wooded areas. Then it gets sort of marshy and hilly and mountainous, not huge like the Rockies, but mountainous. Parts of southern Saskatchewan have hills and badlands and, just kind of skip ahead here. Again, links for all of this below. I know that they have more hours of sunshine than any other Canadian province in Saskatchewan. Maybe adds to the jokes of, it's so, Saskatchewan is so flat. There's no hills or nothing. It's just flat, bald prairie. You can watch your dog run off for 3 days. But it's also one of the most active tornado active parts of Canada, averaging 12 to 18 tornadoes per year. In 2012, 33 were reported. And then, of course, something we covered on the live show here, the Regina cyclone of 1912. I think that's when Regina got its modern era reset. But that's, like I said, another show. We covered that. So the history, talk about the indigenous First Nations, the Sarsi, the Nitsitapi, the Atsani, the Cree, the Saulteaux, and there it is, the Assiniboine. There's my confusion. Or Assiniboine, Nakota, and Sioux. So they always show the same dude all the time. You talk about the Sioux. You notice that? Anyway. And then they get into, yes, of course, it was explored by some of the early explorers for the Hudson's Bay Fur Trading Company. Oh, man. The usual. There we go. In 1803, the Louisiana Purchase transferred from France to the United States, part of what is now Alberta and Saskatchewan. Now, this was new to me until about 4 years ago. I was like, wait, what? Really? In 1818, the U.S. seceded the area to Britain. Most of what is now Saskatchewan was part of Rupert's Land. Yes, that was owned by the Hudson's Bay Trading Company, or not owned, but was given royal charter by the Crown to have exclusive rights to the land, and they governed the land as well. And they were a fur trading company. Anyway, controlled, oh yeah, there it is, Hudson's Bay Company, which claimed rights to all watersheds flowing into Hudson's Bay, including Saskatchewan River, Churchill, Assiniboine, Souris, and Qu'Appelle River systems. The late 1850s and early 1960s, scientific expeditions led by John Palliser and Henry Yulehind explored the prairie region of the province. It's kind of late to be exploring. It's not really that far west. You know what I'm saying? Dragging their feet a bit. 1870, Canada acquired Hudson's Bay's territories and formed the Northwest Territories. Yeah, formerly Rupert's Land, to administer vast territory between British Columbia and Manitoba. So there was basically this vast tract of land between Manitoba and the Rocky Mountains in Western Canada. And that's parts of the map, old maps of North America. It says, parts unknown, because they're like, I don't know what's there. Yeah, sure he didn't know. They seemingly knew all about the indigenous peoples and what they've been doing for the thousands and tens of thousands of years, but they didn't know enough about the land to put it on maps. But anyway, links below for that jackassery. Might as well just look at what it says about Assiniboia itself on the Wikipedia. Assiniboia. District of Assiniboia was a name used to describe the Red River Colony, mainly for official purposes between 1812 and 1869. Nominally, the district included all of the territory granted in the Selkirk Concession. However, much of this was ceded to the United States in 1818. Treaties, yada, 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 yada. Okay, Assiniboia River. Actual area of settlement was settled around present-day Winnipeg. So that's weird. Because on old maps, it's southern Saskatchewan. Winnipeg is in Manitoba. But I guess because of the Fort Garry and the Assiniboia River flows through there. So I guess it's weird. But yeah, in 1869, Rupert's Land, including the district of Assiniboia, was transferred to Canada without consultation of the residents of the settlement. This and the arrival of Canadian surveyors led to the Red River Rebellion, which a provisional government and legislative assembly of Assiniboia was established by Métis leader Louis Riel to negotiate the admission of the district as a province of Canada. Then they decided, nah, you're being a traitor. So they sent a bunch of armed soldiers out there and went to battle, and they basically, pew-pewed a lot of the Métis people. So again, they're saying, there's nothing out there. We're not going to go out there until the 18-something-somethings. But meanwhile, the Métis were there, and other Indigenous people were there. So the second district of Assiniboia was later created as a regional administrative district of Canada's Northwest Territories. Most of it was absorbed into the province of Saskatchewan in 1905, except for the westernmost quarter, which became part of Alberta. Yeah, even Alberta was chopped in half from south to north, and the northern part of Alberta was called Athabasca. At least that's what they say, according to all this mumbo jumbo. So there was two districts, the first and second district of Assiniboia. So depending on how far back you go on the map and so on and so forth, but basically named after the Indigenous First Nations peoples there. But, settlers didn't really start exploring and moving out there until, the 1840s, 1850s. Which is weird because they were signing treaties in 1818. So, again, some hinky-hokey jumbling around, juggling of the dates. Almost like Cousin Vinny, Vincent says, almost like there'd been a reset and nobody had seen what happened to that stretch of land yet. Yeah, all the maps, right? Parts unknown. Or Here Be Giants. Or little pictures of teepees. Right. Teepees. Jabiru Joe. In the early maps of Ontario, you fell off the edge of the world heading into Manitoba. Yeah. Basically, the maps were all just blank. Some of those maps are the same ones that show California as an island. So once again, sorry, I'm just catching up on the chat here. Dead air, you amateur. Sheesh. Yeah, the maps I'm talking about, right? I've seen them on other channels too. For a while there, John Levi was looking at one of the maps that I'd been looking at, but he was looking at it in terms of trying to find those ancient cities and trying to identify them with modern cities in and around what is present day Salt Lake, but I don't think is labeled as Salt Lake on the maps. It said something like 7 golden cities or 7 something cities. But anyway, I was looking at that same map, but for different reasons. And it's just weird that they knew British Columbia. They knew the western coast up to a certain point northwards, but they had no idea about the interior between roughly anything west of what's now the border of Manitoba, all the way to the Rocky Mountains. I mean, sure, I could understand the Rockies being tough. I mean, you can't just, a guy can't just, put on a backpack and grab some beef jerky and some trail mix and a couple of bottles of water and just, go for a quick little jaunt through the Rockies. Okay, you'll die, right? It's especially if you don't know your way and you're trying to bushwhack your way and forge a new path. These things are 10 to 14,000 feet above sea level. It's just, and then stuff out there is trying to kill you, right? Moose, bears, wolves, indigenous peoples, crazy fur trappers, mountain men, whatever. People protecting their gold claim. Oh, there it is. There's the sirens. There it is. Wouldn't be a New West Reset live show without the sirens going. It's a fire truck. Careful now, everybody. But yeah, and that's the thing too. That's why I was looking at the old maps and trying to sort of figure out stuff for Western Canada land here, especially in the prairie area, was because, a guy kind of hears tell of stories of giants and heard mention of old maps where it says here be giants on the old maps too, sort of in and around this area. And the First Nations, the native indigenous peoples that have lived here for thousands of years, so we're told, so they're told, they have stories of giants. They have drawings and needlework of giants. Yep, me too. From Calgary, pretty lucky. We got a pretty nice view here in southern Alberta of the Rockies, That's why we got that there Calgary Tower. Kind of looks like the Seattle Space Needle there, eh, bud? You go up there and you can have a real nice looky-loo at the mountains from there. You hook your ocular sphericals onto that good stuff. And really only about an hour's drive west of here, and there's, beautiful wilderness playground. Just be careful and don't start any dang fires. You know what I'm saying? Phil Henry's here. Good to see you. Howdy. Sig's in the box as well. Good to see you. Thanks for shooting in. All right, so what else we got to look at here? Well, where are we at here? Half an hour on the show. Let's look at some photos and we'll take a mid-show break. How about that? Get things warmed up here with a couple of photographs, eh? Let's start with Assiniboia itself. Small city / large town. Sorry, I didn't really do super duper digging in terms of, the ages of these buildings. We're talking about small prairie towns that really the early pioneer explorers didn't really start coming out here until the 1840s, although there were some, because of the Hudson's Bay Fur Trading Company had a charter on the majority of what's now Saskatchewan. And again, a little bit of it was in the Louisiana territories. I mean, it must have been known. So why it's not shown as such and illustrated on old maps is beyond a guy, but, what are you going to do? But anyways, we'll just go alphabetically here. This is in, Assiniboine, Saskatchewan. It's just your quote-unquote regular school. It's this little prairie town. I see some pretty nice big old houses over here. It's not bad. But, 2-story wood frame home with a nice veranda, that I can see. But, I mean, to this day, Assiniboine is not a big city. these suspiciously low windows here, and then you got the usual, right? Why do you got to go up all these steps? You know how deep the snow gets here? Yeah, they talk about they get a lot of sunshine in the summer. They also get a lot of snow and ice in the winter. You got to make them little childrens go up and down these icy stairs. Not to mention somebody's got to risk catching himself a heart attack shoveling these things. Why not just have your kids, come right in or go up one step, wipe your feet, and come in? You know what I'm saying? Not sure if that's a canon and why it's in front of a school, but okay. These are these little prairie towns, 1,500, 3,000 people. Even today, maybe 10,000, a little more. Here's their courthouse. And again, it's not huge, but this is, a little prairie town out in the middle of nowhere. Well, it's on the river, so, I guess, but pretty fancy. Is their hospital. Not sure why they built it on this weirdo slant like that, but almost looks like it should go out this way a bit more to a guy, or am I crazy? Some lady with her stroller, her pram. Hold still, lady. I got to take a picture. Bank of Toronto, the TD Bank, Toronto Dominion Bank. So in this dusty little prairie town of Assiniboia, Saskatchewan, you got to build this big brick and stone bank for all the cowboys and farmers, first of all. But then you're going to build them with these mudflood windows that I'm sure today are all boarded up. And then all careful, so we better put a little dumbass little fence around here or something. Again, not huge, but mighty fancy for a dusty little prairie town. Yeah. That's when I see a slanted road and the building and the windows on the building progressively get larger or smaller, depending on the way it's slanted. I'm like, come on, man. Why would you just stop putting windows at some point when you have to go from a standardized size? Once you have to start going into custom sizes to fit down a row of a building, it's like, all right, then you stop putting windows and you continue the next line up. You know what I mean? That way, if those windows get broken, or if you have to change out the windows down the line for more energy efficient windows, whatever, you can do it. And it's more cost effective, right? Yeah, good point, Sig. No trees, no greenery. Again, well, it is quote unquote the prairies, and it is kind of sort of dryish out there, landlocked, right? The only lakes really are central and northern Saskatchewan, for the most part. Not exclusively, but it definitely looks like something's happened recently prior to these photos, Anyway, this is the Franklin Hotel here. So again, not quite as obvious here, but it slopes downward here a bit. And then here you can see you've got to go up what looks like 3 stairs here. But then this door, 1 or 2 stairs, and probably this door, 1 stair. You know what I mean? It just seems like, oh yeah, they just have money to throw around in these little prairie towns. It's not a problem there, eh, bud? They just rolling in the dough so they can throw money around to build these big, massive brick buildings. Not down the road, of course. But again, wasn't much out here, according to them, in the 1840s, 1850s. All right, let's look at a bigger town slash city here. Moose Jaw. That's right. It's called Moose Jaw. Got a problem with that? Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Let's see where we're at here. There we go. Now, you know, today Moose Jaw is a good sized city. But again, you know, from the 1850s onward, there was supposedly nothing out there. It wasn't until the, you know, about 1905, 1900, say, onward. Once the railroad, the Transcontinental Railroad, went through Saskatchewan and through Alberta and joined up with British Columbia there. All of that jazz, right? Prior to that, just like wild Indians and crazy Wild West. Pretty nice public school, though, in Moose Jaw. There's your train station. Man, that's big for a prairie town. Wow-wee. Huge arch here, too. It's impressive. Can't make out what that is. If it's the 4 ones, which drives a guy nuts, because it's supposed to be a 1 and a V. Public library. Hey, you be careful up there, buddy, with your goofy contraption hoist. Do you think if you fall, this is going to save you? This rope. Is that attached to him? I don't know. It looks like it's attached to him. If he falls, all that's going to happen is he's going to pull this thing out from underneath this contraption, goofball nonsense, and it's going to get discombobulated. And he'll fall and become paralyzed. Then this will land on top of him, and he'll get deleted. Careful up there now. But again, you know, Moose Jaw, prairie town. Very fancy library. I think this is actually a Carnegie. Because, you know, farmers and ranchers, they get hit by tornadoes. They got time and money to spend on building these elaborate windows and all of this stonework. Not sure what's going on here with giant pile of bricks. So maybe this is, well, that's a construction photo. And, well, okay, this guy is just building this thing, is he? Oh, maybe there's a couple other guys here with a horse and wagon. There we go. Got 4 men on the job here. Yep, no problem. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Yeah, 1800s Workers' Compensation Board injury regulations. Well, that's exactly. And just like everywhere else, they try to tell us, well, prior to such and such a date, there was nothing here but buffalo and Indians, fur trappers, and the like. You know, it wasn't until the 1840s and 50s that people really start to establish things out here. And it's like, well, okay, so, I mean, it must have been a flood of folks, because who has time to plot out the land, farm the land, build their sod huts or wooden or log cabins or whatever they can until they get established, you know, and slowly over time. But by the, you know, 1900-ish, there's stuff like this everywhere. I mean, this is Main Street in Moose Jaw. This is a horse and buggy era. Look at this. Look at this. This is like something out of a World's Fair. It's just not painted all glistening white. Look at these wide promenade streets, almost anticipating an electric streetcar trolley tram thing, which of course they did eventually get. A house with a conical dome, some tech on it. Sure, yeah, a little prairie town. Okay, way up here, big massive stuff up on the hill. Okay. More shots of Main Street. Now we do have some jalopies. You know, the teens. You know, maybe 1905, 1910-ish Coca-Cola. So this thing's definitely a car. Maybe another car here. But I mean, the majority of the work is, you know, manual and, you know, horses, teams of horses with wagons pulling out the dirt. That's how they built stuff. But, you know, they'll tell us, so, and they did that in, you know, a year and a half, 2 years in these little prairie towns. Sparsely populated northern British North America, Canada land, with the long, harsh winters. Yeah. And again, it could be anywhere. This could be, you know, Jerkwater, you know, Tennessee. It doesn't matter. It could be, you know, New Queens, Waleslandish Shire. It's somewhere in the UK, or you know what I'm saying. The only difference is maybe the foliage. There are 0 trees, as mentioned. So, well, supposedly the foundation for a building is what they're digging. Not sure what this is. A bank. I guess a guy could do some poking around. But the people that are doing all of this and built all of this is, you know, their construction site buildings. They just quickly whack up these little wooden shacks. Cement mixer. So I'm not sure why they already have a cement mixer on the job site when they're still, it looks to me like digging and removing. I don't know. It's a crazy photo. It's another school. This one in Moose Jaw. It's a little prairie school. Little house on the prairie, but up in Canada. And that's the school that, you know, Laura and Mary went to, I guess. Little farmer's daughter. See, now there you go. Now they've got their electric in. You know, now we're into the 20s here. Got their streetcar. Look at this thing. Come on, man. Post office, if I'm not mistaken. And if you're a local, correct me in the, you know, in the box there. Yeah, post office. Here we go. Really low windows. You get these big, massive, huge arched windows. Even these rectangular ones are very grand. They're taller than this guy. 3rd floor, same. Pediment over the windows, and you know, all these dormers with pediments. 4 clocks, because why not? I don't know how, if you're way down here, I don't know how you're going to see that, but okay, whatever. What the heck is this back here now, too? You know what I'm saying? Unbelievable. Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Victoria School. Looking kind of hokey here, but at any rate, some kind of weird old stone structure here. But again, really low windows, and then big, massive grand entranceway. This one, same thing. This maybe a chapel. This might be a residential school. So this might be the school, and this might be the chapel. Fairford Street, West, Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Look at this view of this place. Come on, man. This is what I'm saying. Do not make fun of Saskatchewan.
If you want to throw down in fisticuffs, fine. I've got Jack Johnson and Tom O'Leary waiting for you, right here.
My goodness. All the tech and just all these complicated architectural details. Give me a break, man. Look at this. There you go. There's your trolley. Of course. High Street East, Moose Jaw. By this time, okay, you know, now we're getting somewhere with some of these large brick buildings. But this, come on, man. I want to say this was there. And, you know, they start building maybe stuff around it. You know, and then they just give it the Victorian tart up so that it roughly resembles. But something like this, I mean, come on. This is glorious. It's thinking like their opera house or something, I believe. Because them cowboys and wheat farmers, they sure are sophisticated and they love their opera. Again, I'm being a little bit sarcastic to prove the point. But when I think of opera, I think of, you know, the big fat people singing in Italian. If you know what I'm saying, right? That's just kind of what I think.
That's racist!
Well, you know, it is what it is, right? Well, what's a guy going to do? You know, they're, oh, mamma mia. You know, I can't really see a lot of people that live in Moose Jaw, you know, in the 1890s, 1900, 1910. Come on, honey, put on your Sunday best and let's go to the opera. Unless opera is just a catch-all phrase for musical, I don't know, musical concerts, you know, vocal concerts. I don't know. This just looks amazing. Of course, they got electric and they've built all this and they have trolley and they have their underground fire hydrant plumbing system all good to go, but the roads are still dirt. Old World Mi'kmaq in the box. Quainita. Hello, hello. Good to see you. So yeah, just a little taste there of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So see, the next time somebody says Saskatchewan, place is flat, bald-ass prairie, and it's boring, and there's nothing to see and nothing to do in Saskatchewan. Will you give that guy a sock right in the jaw? Where are we at here? Coming up on an hour. Let's have a look at one more folder here. Let's look at Prince Albert. Yeah, that's right. That Prince Albert. Look at some Prince Albert, Saskatchewan here. Just to give you an idea of some of the glory and the shenanigans that's going on with Prince Albert. Look at this church. Eh? Well, yeah, just we're going to do all this complicated stuff and then we're going to put this nice dome on it too. Just for shits and giggles. Because in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, this little farming town, we got time and money to spend to do that. Wow. And even just the brickwork is beautiful. And the niche, it still has statues in the niche, although I'm sure these have been swapped out and whatever used to be in there. Seen a crown, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, it's a beauty. The cops, look out. It's the cops, eh? But even the police station. I mean, it's big, huge. It's a big, fancy. It almost looks like something out of New Orleans, Louisiana. But let's not forget, parts of Saskatchewan were part of Louisiana territory prior to the Louisiana Purchase. Just saying. You know, these little bijou balconies. I mean, it's not hard to just put this up there and get these clowns to stand in front of it. No disrespect to current police, the current police, not common police, the current police, but you know, I'm not so sure that this was a, you know, let's just say the legitimacy and the shenanigans carried out by these guys, maybe. So there's City Hall. Yeah, no big deal. Let's just build a big, huge 3.5-story brick building with arched windows. Again, this we'll go with the wrought iron on this one above this door. It's hard to see, but huge arched door with a double layer of brick or courses of brick. Again, not super duper huge, but again, pretty dang fancy. And oh yeah, let's not forget to have a big stone foundation with these really low windows down here that are the exact same shape and position as these, but funnily enough, a half or a third in some cases the size. Don't worry about that. Ignore the portal too. It's fine. Not sure why you need a portal in your city hall, but okay. Sorry, some of these are very itty bitty. But this is Prince Albert separate school. This might be a Catholic school. Separate school principal. I'm not sure what this says. So again, it could be residential school, could be a Catholic school. Either way, you know, tiny little Prince Albert, Saskatchewan prairie farm town needs not only, you know, what they would call it, quote unquote, normal school, but a separate school. And then maybe residential schools for the Indigenous First Nations Canadian Indians to give them, what, their third round of brainwashing at that point? It's a fire hall. Now, I'm not disputing the fact that a town or a city is going to need a fire hall. But a small prairie town in the middle of nowhere, again, this is not, you know, the capital city or anything. This is, you know, Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, man. It's looking to me like at least 5 bays for their fire department. And you know, at one point prior to the trucks, these were buggies being pulled by horses. So again, were they anticipating, oh, someday Prince Albert's going to be big enough that we need this large of a fire hall? Or is this just some old world building that has been repurposed as a fire hall? Was it like a hangar bay for, you know, dirigibles? Not the big massive, you know, like Graf Zeppelin style, but the smaller ones, you know, the 3 to 5, 6 passenger ones. Was it a repurposed old world tram electric train service or train station? I don't know. Again, I'm just spitballing. Deborah was saying, now I can't comment and rumble. That's weird. And again, nothing on my part at all. That's really weird. And I'm also not getting any notifications or anything like that on either end saying that there's any problems with the, you know, the broadcast or what have you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know. I do not know. Just all right, hello, test. Okay, that was weird. That was strange. My screen just went blank there for a second. And but the nice thing with the StreamYard is it keeps the stream going, at least. But yeah, but that said, there is a rainstorm blowing in. I'm getting a notification that's supposed to have I think they're calling it thunderstorms rolling in here in the next few minutes. So could be weather related for me. But that's really weird, Jabber Joe. I have no idea. Again, on my end, in terms of everything seems to be working fine here. So yeah, I don't know. It's odd. It's weird. It's weird. I do see your comments on Rumble, and I see Mighty Mouse on Rumble. Howdy, and thanks for your support, by the way. Appreciate it. As well as everybody else on the Rumble. Everybody on the HooTubes. Of course, everybody that's tuning in after the fact and watching these uploads. It's kind of another reason why it's good to do it on a Sunday, because if I decide to do it earlier, it just gives folks more time if they're watching it after the live. You know, because I tend to jammer on and on and on for like 2 hours, eh? So, you know, if they want to watch half hour or hour at a time, you know, there's an extra day to do it by doing the live on the Sunday. Gives you Sunday, Monday, Tuesday before the midweek on Wednesday. And then you get a boots on the Friday. Speaking of midweek, how about we take a mid-show break and I give you a sneak peek at your midweek, your upcoming vintage footage video. And this one is Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And just it's 1939, I believe. Just confirming that here. Yeah, 1939. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. It's just over, that's about 3.5 minutes long. And a very appropriate tune on this one, too, there, eh? One of the great Canadian classic rock bands of the 60s and 70s, eh? So, yeah, this is sneak peek at your vintage footage coming up midweek on Wednesday. And then we'll see you back on the other side. So, yeah, stick around and be right back.
I've been hanging around gas stations. I've been learning about tires. I've been talking to grease monkeys. I've been working on carbs. Moose jaw saw you, moose them in two. Running back to Saskatoon. Red Deer Terrace and a medicine hat. Singing of the prairie tune. Singing of the prairie tune. The prairie's baby talking. I've been hanging around libraries. I've been learning about books. I've been talking to playwriters. I've been working on words, phrases. Moose jaw soft, you moose them into. Running back to Saskatoon. Red Deer Terrace and a medicine hat. Singing of the prairie tune. Singing of the prairie tune. Prairie! now, oh, come on, now, my baby said.
All right. That's enough of that nonsense. Welcome back. Thank you very much once again for shooting in, joining a fella here. Frankie, New West Reset Live, episode 77. Today we're talking about ancient Assiniboia / Saskatchewan Stumpers. Man, there's some of these buildings is enough to, they're head scratchers, right? They'll stump a guy. Somebody say, hey, Frankie, what's going on with some of these buildings? I don't know. I'm stumped. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me here on the new Sunday edition of the live show. Sunday Fun Day. Thanks for winding down your weekend here with yours truly. Just a little bit past 6 p.m. local time, mountain time here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada land. If you haven't already, give a fella one of these. Thank you very much to everybody who's already subscribed and has shared this wacky shenanigans. Appreciate all your support. Thank you to everybody in the box. And to those of you that are tuning in after the fact, howdy, eh? How's it going there? Appreciate it there, eh? Appreciate everybody's support on Rumble and YouTube. A few kinks and bugs aside in the show, as per usual. Top of the hour, we're just kind of looking at a little bit of the official narrative of the show. The first half of the show, the official narrative of Saskatchewan, Assiniboia. See, I keep doing it. Assiniboia. Excuse me. Assiniboia. Based on the Assiniboine indigenous peoples. Man, you see what I'm saying? You think of Yogi Bear, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, you see them red coats. Look out now, especially if you're in the rear view and you're driving down the highway, cruising along to some Guess Who, featuring Burton Cummings on vocals and keyboards. Well, it's amateur hour around here. Basically, my setup here is, it's in my room, in my suite here in my place, right? So, on a warm day, I got the window open. You hear noise. There's weather. There's interference. There's lag and delay. You might get the wheel for a second. The wheel always tortures a guy when I'm doing something. Why do I have the wheel, man? I got the top of the line interwebs that I plugged right into the wall. I'm not doing the beaming the waves. No, I got the big wire, the big chunky wire. It shouldn't matter if it's raining and windy. Dang it all. Don't try to tell me it's because satellites. Anyway. Yeah, top half of the show, we kind of looked at Saskatchewan. Looked at some photos. What do you say we look at a few more photographs here? Got a few more in a file, in the folder, in the thing. Getting better at labeling these things. The song was running back to Saskatoon, so what say we just do just that? What say we just I'm hearing I'm getting distracted because I'm hearing another siren approaching. Oh boy. I swear I don't live in Detroit or Chicago or parts of Vancouver or Toronto or Montreal for that matter. I live in a decent, nice neighborhood here in Calgary. I don't know. Anyway, just, your standard run-of-the-mill castle, church here in Saskatoon. With all of this intricate carving and a big, massive stone. One wonders why you gotta go up a set of stairs, and then there's low windows here as a result. Then walk across this sort of promenade, and then up more stairs to get into what would be just a grand main entrance scale-wise, but looks stumpy to a guy. You know what I mean? Where am I? There I am. Looks stumpy to a guy, right? The door, it just a little stout or squat here. No? Maybe. Saskatoon's got some stuff, man. Look at this. There's the hotel. Again, look at all of the conical domes. Like anywhere that there's an angle, we're gonna put a conical dome and some tech on it. Why? We suspect why, but they're not telling us why. They'll just add decoration. The railroad built it, and they like being all fancy with it. Get out of here with that BS. Like that. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me. And then this too, okay. You can even see by the landscaping, there's probably all kinds of geometric patterns in the whole grounds of this that they're telling us. It's not always built as a hotel, but save my Freudian slip of it's a castle. To me, this looks like somebody stumbled across a castle and it was in decent enough shape where they could, fix it up. And it's a hotel built by the railroad. See, the tracks are right there. I don't know, man. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, because a lot of people look at that and go, "That's a Tartarian building," or what we would, in that umbrella term, right? Old world, so it looks like it belongs in like some storybook far off place in like Eastern Europe. Like, this is in Bulgaria or Czechoslovakia or Hungary. He's in one of these places. It's like where Dracula is from, in these places and things. Duh? You know what I mean? Not in the prairies in Canada land where they have onion domes and little techie bits on the fire hall. Assuming it's a fire hall. I don't know. It could be anything. I'm assuming they're calling it a fire hall, fire station, but who knows? And then this in the background. Hello. I don't see you back there. All this fancy schmancy and the roads again are dirt, and all these clowns are on horses. Saskatoon is hard to say. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Sipping sarsaparilla in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Look at this. Come on, man. This is just that same sort of concept. It's all like the coining here with the stone and the alternating brick and stone. This coining, like it looking all gingerbready, looking all wedding cake ish. Look what is this? Oh, that's a hotel. Get out of my face with that. This is a hotel. Yep, hotel. Look at this chaos and all this crap. But then up here, just this beautiful brick detail. And then all of this along here. What in the Sam steel is that? I don't know. Some kind of vent, I guess, or chimney or stovepipe. I don't know what it is. Gonna have flagpoles on your buildings or lightning rods or whatever those, you can tell me those are. And just this big behemoth back here. All of these angles with all of these dormers. Not to mention just this, this behemoth. Crazy, man. This is right in around that 1905, 1910 period that, for the most part, right when Saskatchewan has become a province. And basically Assiniboia. Dang, I keep doing it. Assiniboia. There it is. Man, and I haven't even been drinking. Anyways, Assiniboia is basically, boom, it's gone. Gobbled up by Saskatchewan, and parts of Northwest Territories are gobbled up, as they make Alberta and Saskatchewan larger, upward, right, as they obtain more land from the transferring of the land from the Hudson's Bay Company to Canada itself, buying the land. So Hudson's Bay Company made out like bandits. They just planted flags on the land and said, yeah, we own this land here, eh? We're going to fur trade all of this. British Crown said we could. It's right here on this piece of paper. So take off, get out of our way, all you civilizations that are already here. They have that charter for like, I don't know, it was like 200 years. Nobody else is allowed to go in there. Hudson's Bay Company has its own basically governing bodies and law enforcement. So you can imagine how well that turned out for people that were already here. There's another little prairie town city hall. Not, a two-story wooden structure, like maybe just the size of the one wing of this thing. No, big, massive stone building. Again, with all these complicated angles and dormers, and arched windows. Funny how these kind of get bigger. See? Smaller here than here. So as it slopes down. So if some jackass vandal or somebody who loses control of his jalopy, or if some horse rears up and the wagon goes out of control and smashes this window and this window as you're trying to regain control and you're swerving, and well, these are two different sizes. So you can't just say, give me two of the 3.5 foot by 6 foot glass. No, the guy's got to come out, measure it, cut the glass, install it. Can't just get that from the Simpson Sears catalog. More sirens. Ambulance this time. Sorry about that. Anyway. Oh, here's some more construction photos for you. Or something. I don't know what to look at more. This shenanigans here. Or this up here. And all this over here. And this. Again, not sure what they are building. This is from a Saskatchewan labor sort of website. Sort of historically, like, the labor movement in Saskatchewan helped to, build up the cities and towns and the yada yada. Looks pretty weeny. Anyway. There's Saskatoon. Let's see what else we got here. Well, we might as well finish it out alphabetically. Let's look at Swift Current. Swift Current, Saskatchewan. I just chose these randomly on the map, by the way. There's other places, too, that are just as mind-boggling. Like Estevan and Weyburn. And like, you name it. East to west, north and south. I just wanted to sort of grab a few. But basically, the narrative for, Saskatchewan and Alberta is, the same as in the U.S., right? That manifest destiny and push westward. And but what about the Indians? To hell with them buggers, and just keep going and push and whatever, right? That's the story. The Wild West, the Wild Frontier. And the railroads come in, and it helps to, join the nation. It's the same cut and paste sort of narrative. So, I mean, this could be anywhere. This could be some little town in like Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? That might be a little far south. South got developed pretty quickly, but you get my drift. West of the Appalachians, though, you know what I'm saying? Appalachia? Appalachia. I do not know. Words matter, and the box says. It's always puzzled me. We're in a time with no washing machines. They wore these giant dresses that drug through the mud. A laundry nightmare. Makes zero sense. There's mud in every picture. Yeah, mud or dirt, either way. And they'll explain it away as, it's dark colors. And there's a bit of a misnomer that, all the women are dressed in black skirts and all the men are wearing black hats and black suits, and that's not the case. There's different shades of grays and browns and blues. Black was actually one of the more expensive dyes. Therefore, the fabrics were more expensive. This thing's been brutalized. But again, I think there's an old fire hall. Yeah, Swift Current Fire Department. Saskatchewan. But let's just give the benefit of the doubt that these are uniform type clothing, and all the men, it was all black, and the women, it was all black skirts. It doesn't matter whether it's dirt, which is dusty and kind of light colored to the eye, or whether it's mud, which tends to be darker and more saturated in color to the eye. It's going to look terrible on black. There's really no color that you can wear. There's no shade of beige or brown or taupe that's just going to completely hide dirt and or mud and or dust. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it is a laundry nightmare. I don't know. Maybe that's why every city on the planet has a quote unquote Chinatown with a Chinese laundry in their history. I don't know. Again, this is just something that we're told. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, one of the oldest neighborhoods here in Calgary, from what we're told, is Chinatown. There's your central school in little tiny Swift Current, Saskatchewan. Again, very gingerbread looking. Very exquisite up here. Because the average 8-year-old child is going to care so much. There's your main street. This would be Central Avenue. Swift Current. Looking north from CP Rail Station. Okay, yeah, nice, beautiful. Again, very wide streets, very large masonry, brick, stone buildings, but the roads are all dirt. Sidewalks, yeah, we'll pave those. We'll pave those all day. Why don't you pave the road, buddy? It keeps down all that dirt and dust. Nope. Well, fashion, right? Not just fashion or what falls into favor in terms of the garments that people wear, but fashion in terms of what falls in and out of favor as to what we deem as attractive in a generally speaking, visually, in terms of the human form, right? You look at some of the paintings and people were heavier and they say, well, that's People found that attractive back then. Whereas, I don't know. I mean, the people that could afford to commission these paintings back in the day probably could afford a stoutier, healthier, more robust diet, and therefore probably put on a few stones or lbs, if you know what a fellow's saying. And therefore, that would have been reflected. Their world around them would have been reflected in their artwork, right? They wouldn't have wanted necessarily paintings of slim or skinny rib bare peasants in the dusty streets. So corsets and things like that were meant to accentuate, the female form that may have been more in favor or in fashion at the time. Whereas then you look in the 1920s, the dresses were very straight. You get that whole slim sort of flapper girl kind of a look. In the 50s, you have the Marilyn Monroe type, A lot of this is just pop culture being pushed on us, and we're just being yo-yoed around. There's that CP rail station, and look at the beautiful gardens. Now let's just have these gardens with all this geometric patterns in it at the train station for some reason. And just in the background is big, huge, and everything's got boink, boink, boink. Everything. School, collegiate style school, so like a boys only probably school. Again, it's really low. It's problematic. Canadian winters, very problematic. Like these steps go up to what? This obviously is an addition or something. Bet you there's a really nice arched entrance here. And they made it maybe like a boys and girls or something. Because this seems stupid. You got to come up here and boom, you're at a brick wall with this stupid window. So I think this whole thing was added. And this was added too. I bet you this used to be a window or something. But anyway, regardless, they didn't muck around with too much because this is still pretty beauty looking. Uh-oh. Kathy in the box says, don't know how much longer I'm going to be on here. Power's out. My phone is at 20. Oh, your power's out? Well, yeah, earlier you were saying that you're getting the thunder and lightning there too, right? Yeah. Yeesh. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate, be careful. Batten down the hatches, my friend. Batten down the hatches. Dining hall, it says, but I'm thinking that's a train station. Maybe it's a station and they have a dining hall in this train station. That would make sense. There you go. That's it for Swift Current. Got one more. Before we do that, I just want to share something here, and for Kathy, sort of in honor of Kathy. I meant to do this earlier and it slipped a guy's mind, but just going to take a quick commercial break here before Kathy goes. I'll be right back.
I used to believe everything I'd see on the news, but that's before I discovered a brain.
A brain is meant for everyday use. Those living with moderate to severe stupidity have seen immediate improvement in common sense with a brain.
I thought the government had my best interests at heart, and then a friend told me about a brain.
Talk to your doctor about what news sources you obey. A brain may also lower your desire to take life-altering advice from celebrities.
Getting lectured about my carbon footprint from people with 3 private jets used to make sense. But thanks to a brain, now I can think for myself every day. When my disregard for 3rd grade biology began to flare up, I knew it was time for a brain.
Do not try a brain if you're allergic to a brain. Common side effects may include accountability, discernment, homeschooling your kids, a better understanding of economics, awareness of the stupidity of socialism, and diarrhea.
For tethering yourself to reality, the only no-brainer is choosing a brain. Ask your doctor if a brain is right for you.
For more information, visit tryabrain.com.
What do you think of what do you think of that? Yes, that's our sponsor of today's show for our new time slot here on this Sunday evening. Cheers to you. Thanks for sharing it. I'm going to keep the other one in my pocket until next week, I think. But the other one's great too. I'm barely containing. I'm barely resisting the urge to. Barely able to resist the urge to play it here, but I'm going to put it on the back burner for next week. But yeah, take it easy, okay? Take care, Kathy. Thank you very much. Oh, jeez. See, that's the kind of stuff I like, man. You send me that kind of stuff. It's great. Anyway, got one last folder to look at here. And this is for what folder is this? This is for Yorkton, Saskatchewan. This is St. Joseph's College and Monastery of the Redemptor. Okay. Wow. And again, you know how we like to do it up here in Canada, eh, buddy? We like to build a dome with a cupola with another dome. Because we have that inferiority complex, eh? Got to do everything twice. Look at these dormers. Mansard style roof here too, I think. Yep. Looks like it. It's very pickolated. I'm sorry. Can't zoom in too much, but just all this crap everywhere. It just looks like somebody came along and they fixed it up, put a crappy wooden fence here, and they got their electric and telephone poles in or whatever. And all right, there it is. We built this. Oh yeah, by the way, the Klan had a foothold in the area for a while, so that's nice. The Hudson's Bay store in little old Yorkton, Saskatchewan. Look at this. Will you look at it? Look at it. Like I could see in Toronto, Montreal, the big city centers. Now, and again, nothing against Yorkton, nothing against Yorkton at all. I just know it's not a big, massive city. But the Bay doesn't give an F. They're just going to go silly with it. And then the bank next to it, by the way, too, right? Come on, man. That same old, I don't trust my money unless it looks like it's a Roman building. Look at the size of this thing. It's almost a city block. This thing's a quarter of a block for a little prairie town. You doing that much shopping, are you? You need to buy Royal Chinette. And I guess with all your clothes getting dirty all the time, maybe you're just buying new pants and new skirts once a week. You hop on the trolley and go into town to the Bay, Hudson's Bay store. I don't know. Yeah, when you're selling beaver pelts, you need fancy dicks to present your wares. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Look at this. Quit playing with me now. And even this here too. Sorry, pickolated. But look, like orange and all this carving or relief work. I don't care what it is. It could be beaver faces. It could be, I don't know. I don't care. Just the fact that they did and this, like, it's a pillar, or made to resemble a pillar in terms of the footing. Like, they're not messing around in Yorkton. They're not messing around. Here's that mission. Come on, man. Somatic window, big dome. But again, to scale, these look stout to me. They look stout. They look very stumpy to a guy, Not sure what's going on here, by the way. And here, there's like a wall, and then another wall built on top of a wall. Okay, sure. And this too, you know, just noticing this now. Too. I mean, farmers love that. Balmoral Hotel. Jeez. This, okay, sure, but you know, all the stacked brick and his archwork and his diamond pattern and this shenanigans. You know, even this being an afterthought, I'm sure. You know, when you look at it, they don't even have the concrete sidewalks here yet. It's just each building has its own sort of wooden porch. And maybe if you're lucky, they might connect the next building. But you can see here, it's just dirt. You go up and oh, it stairs down. It just looks like dirt. Thank you very much. Old World Mi'kmaq saying, liking the switch to Sundays. Yeah, yes, I'm enjoying it too, actually. It's nice. I don't have to worry about, do I have to try to race home because I want to be on at a decent hour, or, you know, do I try to go on live before going to work, which would be a disaster. Yorkton, Saskatchewan. View of the post office. Decorated for Confederation Day celebration, 1927. Yes, 1867 was when Canada became Canada. Okay. Sure. This one higher off the ground than this one because the ground's all slopey. Even after it being paved, they pave it all slopey. Why? Just level it out. Hastily covered up. I would bargain here. Some fella got balls enough to get up on the roof and take a shot. Nice. Roof? Eh. You know, pediments and just, again, all this. And again, the grand, wide promenade streets, even the side street, like this, obviously Broadway. So this is their main high street, their main drag, obviously. But you got some pretty big buildings on the next few blocks. You got this shenanigans over here. So these side streets have access to, so I mean, they're wide too. Again, almost in anticipation of eventually we're going to have a trolley here, and horse and buggy are going to have to go on either side, or eventually cars. You know what I'm saying? See? Like you could get 6 across on this road easily. And this is a team of 2. So it's not one of them small buggies. Oh, there's 6 people in this thing. So you got all this shenanigans and all. I know we hear it and see it time and time again. I'm basically just beating a dead horse at this point. Bird's eye view of Yorkton. Like, look at this. Almost looks like the original first floor was stone, and then later on, an addition was made of a second floor, because now you got these stairs going up from the outside to get in here. Why would you do that if it was originally, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking some of this stuff is pre-cataclysm, whatever the reset time period was for Saskatchewan. I'm guessing pre-1850 and around, you know, that 1800-ish, Louisiana Purchase-ish time frame area for this part of Canadian land, the prairies, you know. Red River Rebellion, Louisiana Purchase, a lot of these so-called Indian wars, you know. Dragon Sage in the box. Yeah, there you post office, more like pre of yeah. Yeah. Dragon Sage. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Howdy, howdy. How's she going there, eh, bud? But yeah, this is lovely. I mean, again, this, yeah, no prop, 2-3-story wooden, big buildings, wood and some brick, sure, but it's the over the top, the added time, money, expense that doesn't fit in with what they tell us, the amount of people and the time period, the time frame that this was developed. The Hudson Bay just throwing it in your face here in Yorkton. This is this isn't even the main road. This is 2nd Avenue. Nice and wide. Stone building here. More bitty beep shenanigans or whatever. Man, oh man. Sure, in some cities, it's, this is 2 floors and a quote unquote basement, I'm sure, and sub basement. The one in Calgary is 3 floors, has a basement and a sub basement. And Lord knows under that. So sure, it's only 2 floors. I get it, Yorkton, but I mean, it's not the point. It's just, again, change the broken record. Just keep hammering home the same point over and over. Because it's so baffling how they could just say, yeah, that's what it is. And everybody's like, yeah, that's what it is. Absolutely, yeah. I totally get it. There's really nothing weird here at all.
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
Anyway, there you go. There's Yorkton. And of course, got to end it off at the Canadian Pacific Railway, excuse me. And their hotels, their train stations, their bajillion miles of track up and down and side to side all over Canada land, of course. Joining the nation from east to west, transcontinental railroad. And you had to have that as part of your area if you wanted to, throw your name in the hat, if you will, to become a province. Like Saskatchewan land wanted to do. Well, we want to join the rest of Canada land there, eh? And they're like, well, does railroad go through there? Yep, she goes right through there, bud. And it's like, okay, jump right in there, eh? 1905, 1910. That whole time frame is when Alberta and Saskatchewan was supposedly really started to boom. Whoa, okay, now you guys are officially Canada. Railroad's been in there for a while now. Things are really established. There you go. But then all of a sudden the maps change, right? Assiniboia disappears. Athabasca territory disappears. The Oregon territory changes. Louisiana Purchase also changes the Canadian-U.S. border up between Saskatchewan and North Dakota and Montana and Alberta. Oregon Territory disappears, and then the Northwest Territories is pushed up into northern Canada, beside Yukon. So it just keeps getting carved up and changed. Manitoba at one point was just itty-bitty. It was the size of, I don't know, New Brunswick. And all of a sudden, boom, it's huge. And that was because of that whole Red River Rebellion that was quashed. Poor old Louis Riel was hanged for treason. So yeah, definitely a lot of shenanigans going on in Saskatchewan. Some Saskatchewan shenanigans, I would say. I would surely say. So again, links in the description for the Wikipedia about Assiniboia and Saskatchewan itself. Of course, where you can get a hold of a guy and the email. Got any ideas for, hey, let's check out this part of Canada, Frankie? I live over here and it's weird too, man. Call shenanigans over here too, eh? BitChute, MeWe, and of course, Rumble. So again, howdy and thank you to everybody on the HootTubes and the Rumble. Again, my email's down there. Hey, if you want to check out a guy's location map, it's there as well. Let's have a look at that. This is Cousin Vinny's brainchild here. So it's, it's on the goggle machine. And how do you close this thing? Get that out of there. Anyway. It's on the goggle machine. So this is, all the places a guy's been here in the city, right? So got some icon. You just click on it. And it opens something up, and then it also takes you right to the video. This one, the guy's just doing a little walkabout in Bankview. Just gone on walkabout, checking out some old brick mud flood houses. So yeah. So link for that in the description. The ones that are joined with the yellow lines is, on that walkabout. Multiple buildings in the same neighborhood, same street, what have you. So yeah, check that out. Big thank you to... there you go. See? I'm old. Technology frightens me. I don't know. I think that's the case everywhere, right? I mean, at this point, like I said, we're basically just playing a broken record. It's the same, what is that? Was it the Four Tops? Or yeah. It's that same old song. Is that the Four Tops or the Temptations? I don't know. Well, them cool Motown, R&B, rhythm and blues, R&B bands. Also, hey, you got the PayPal down there. Speaking of which, Vaughn, you're kind. Do you get the messages? I send you a reply on the PayPal. So thank you, by the way, Vaughn, for your kind donations to the PayPal. T-shirt gift shall be coming forthwith. It's on route. Anyway. Thank you for your kindness and your generosity. Muchly appreciated. So, yeah, I send you a reply on the PayPals, but I don't know. Do they go through? Is it? I don't know. But anyway. Yeah. Well, and the map will just change from, 1803 to 1805. The map, all the borders have changed and all the lines in what are, the U.S. have states, right? Canada has provinces. Same thing, same diff, basically. A few minor differences, but you get what I'm. So the lines or the borders between the Canadian provinces change, and dramatically, like entire swaths of land just disappear, and then the name's gone. Like Assiniboia. It's gone. Look it up and you can reference the old region. But the only clues are the indigenous peoples from whom after it is named. And there's a town called Assiniboine or Assiniboina or something also. Oh, you do? Okay, great. Excellent. And it's kind of the same thing with the United States, right? as the United States expanded, you see the states changing in size and shape as borders are changed and moved, or states are divided into two different states, North Dakota, South Dakota, or used to be the Dakotas, right? Which is named after the indigenous people that lived there. Again, no big shock. Heck, there's a town. Which one is it? I can't remember now, but there's a town that's right on the border of Alberta and Saskatchewan. Just boom, right there. The border runs right through the town. And there's so many cases of that. It's like weird stuff like that. Of course, Saskatchewan's got it, but hey, don't, they'll tell you Saskatchewan's boring. Nothing to see in Saskatchewan. A lot of people, Canadians, make fun of Saskatchewan. I'm here to tell you, that's some BS. I don't like people shit talking Saskatchewan now. Them's fighting words.
If you want to throw down in fisticuffs, fine. I've got Jack Johnson and Tom O'Leary waiting for you, right here.
So with that and all the jackassery, I think I'm getting ready to wind this thing down here for the Sunday edition of the show, the new time slot. Thank you very much for all your positive feedback on the Sundays. And I can bounce around times on the Sundays, but, I can do it earlier in the day, and I don't have to worry about it being rushed. And I don't have to worry about ever it being too late for a lot of folks. Like the 7 p.m. start, that's okay for local, or even Central Time. It's okay for Pacific Time, Eastern Time maybe. But once you get, across the pond, across the big water there, she's getting pretty long in the shadow, if you see what a fella's saying. I agree, Sage. Come on, that's true. I agree. All of Canada is amazing. We're lucky. We're lucky, eh? Got to try to keep it that way. Yeah, people like to take the piss out of Saskatchewan. But yeah, it's, there's even by the official history, his story, very, very interesting. Talking behind the scenes about how it's made boring on purpose. I was talking to Marit, commenting on her video for her latest upload about the airships and the dirigibles on Hidden in Plain Sight. In school when you're young, right? They make history as boring as possible. They make you memorize dates to like the Napoleonic Wars and the this and the that and the, even here in Canada land, our, Canadian history, it's, the Sir so-and-so was the 5th Prime Minister and he helped to blah, 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 and this was in, 1904 and they purposely make it boring. Even as a boy, you hear, oh, war, we're going to learn about the war, but they don't teach you about the cool stuff that a boy would think is cool. Later on, a mature adult would realize it's quite horrific. But, an 8-year-old boy's head wants to hear about the battles and stuff, maybe. Nope. Just memorize that Sir John Avery of Lockshire defeated the Boers in the Boer War in 18, like, oh man, like, okay, great. But when you just kind of dig a little deeper and you look at some of these old photos and you go, wait a second, these photos are from, 1905, 1900, 1910 at the latest. That's when they say a lot of these buildings were built anyways. The photos are, 20s, 30s. You can tell by the cars and stuff. But it's like, wait a sec, there was only like a handful of people in these little prairie towns. Like Regina and, Saskatoon, even Moose Jaw to some extent, a little larger. But you see comparable buildings in these, 1,500 people in this little town. You're like, wait, what? So what's with all the pillars and the, the capitals on top of the pillars and the domes and the, It's said money to throw around, I guess. You know, just throwing it around. I just don't even know. Doesn't make sense. So there you go. That is going to seal the deal here for tonight with Frankie, New West Reset, and New West Reset Live, episode 77. Ancient Assiniboia, Saskatchewan Stumpers. And I managed to get Assiniboia out properly. Out. Thank you very much for shooting in and joining a fella. Again, if you're watching after the fact, say hello. Let me know what you think down below. Thanks to everybody in the box, in the chat. Appreciate it. Everybody on HooTubes and Rumble. Again, links below for everything. Wednesday, your midweek vintage footage video coming up will also be about Saskatoon in Saskatchewan. Friday, boots on the ground. And then we shall see you in a week's time next Sunday for episode 78 of the live show. If you haven't already, boy, greatly appreciate it. Or one of these, it's fine. I'm not going to drown in my own tears or anything, you know. Thanks to everybody who's already shared and subscribed. Appreciate it as always. Until the next one, take care out there and have yourselves a good one. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. Cheers, man. I'm hearing the rumbling of the thunderstorm rolling in, so I'm going to close a window and get ready to get her done. All right. Cheers, everybody.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma.